Welcome back to the Barrel Zone. Thanks for joining me this Friday morning. We are doing the quick daily breakdown as always, trying to keep this under 15 minutes. So we are talking baseball first. So I have one play logged in so far on the slate. It's not a great slate for betting. We have huge favorites across the board. But a game that I like is the KC Texas one. We have Mike Miner and Dane Dunning. Excuse me. So I like KC here. Miner has been pretty decent lately. He has a 3.8 Sierra through the season, 26% K rate, 11% swinging strike rate. What I really like about him is that he's fully shutting down lefties, 280 WOBA. He has a 2 FIP, a 17% line drive rate, almost a 30% K minus walk ratio. He only gives up 28% hard contact to the side. And some of the better bets in this Texas lineup, like Gallo and Love, are lefties. Rangers are also struggling against the side, just an 83 WRC plus against lefties, 133 ISO. So I think Miner will be all right. He has been going pretty deep into games. In the last outing, he threw 107 pitches. The KC bullpen is also pretty rested. They got blown out last night. None of the key arms threw any pitches, so I think they will be all right. And Dunning on the Texas side is an arm I like. I think generally he's more talented than Miner, but I don't think he's ready yet, and the consistency has been pretty bad. He has a 1.54 whip through the season. He's only averaging 4.5 innings. The last time out, he only went 4 innings, gave up 3 earned. I could definitely see a bounce back. Casey is not a really difficult offense to face, but he's inconsistent, and I think the game is a pick 'em, and I think it's way more likely that Miner has a decent game here. Also, the Royals will have at least 7, but likely 8 guys in the lineup betting from the right side. And Dunning hasn't been good against righties. 347 WOBA, FIP above 4.2, 22% line drive rate. He's not, I mean, those are not bad numbers, but the righties have been getting to him. So, yeah, he's a good prospect. I'm not overlooking him. But I slightly prefer Casey. I slightly prefer Miner, and this game is a pick 'em at this point. So I think going with Casey is the way we should look today. I have another lean. I haven't played this yet. I don't think the line is good enough, but this is a game I'm tracking. It's the Oakland and the Giants game. We have Sean Manaea on the mound for Oakland and Johnny Cueto for the Giants. Why I think the Giants are the better team at this point, I'm really amazed how Manaea has been pitching lately. He's coming off a 5 inning outing against the Yankees, had 11 Ks with just 2 earned runs. His velocity is up above 93 miles per hour on the fastball. This is a guy that was sitting around like 90 last year and was hovering around 91 miles per hour earlier this year. So yeah, I think he's now fully healthy and has been putting together some great games. 12% swinging strike rate, only a 5% walk rate, 32% hard contact. He has been pitching well on the road as well. Oakland bullpen is in a great shape. They hit righties generally well. 106 WRC plus, 177 ISO for Oakland as a team. And they're facing Cueto, who is an average arm, in my opinion. He's averaging 5.5 innings, but righties have been getting to him as well. 29% line drive rate against the side. His swinging strike rate is below league average, just an 18% strikeout rate. He has been decent, but nothing special, and I think Manaea is the better arm here. The Giants against lefties are really good. 110 WRC plus, 184 ISO, and 11% walk rate. So yeah, I think this is absolutely a close game. I'm not overlooking the Giants' offense. They have been really good. They also have the slightly better bullpen, in my opinion. But I think Manaea over Cueto is a big edge. The current line is minus 110 on Oakland. I would probably play Oakland at even money, maybe around plus 105 would definitely be a bet for me. So this is one I'm monitoring, and I will be hoping to catch Oakland at plus money. We will see. But KC, I think, is currently bettable, and Oakland game is one you should monitor. All right, we are talking a few minutes about the two games that are off the board. Neither are too interesting. I'm not talking about the Philly Mets games. That's a doubleheader. I'm never touching doubleheaders, and you shouldn't either. So we have the Braves, Cincinnati, Smiley, Gutierrez. My line here is Braves minus 104, so that's what I'm expecting to see. This is going to be a pick'em. Acuna is out for the Braves. Lower back tightness. He got scratched last night. I would be really surprised if he would play here. But Smiley on the road is really not something you should back here. I think this is a game just to forget. And then we have the LA Angels, Canning, and Tampa Bay will go with an opener, but the bulk of the innings will be thrown by Fleming. I really like Fleming. We have a few sites with lines up, minus 150 Tampa Bay. That's a bit too rich for my blood, I think. Minus 140 would be more realistic here. But it would be raise or nothing for me. So yeah, those are the two of the board games. So summing it up, I like KC. I'm looking at Oakland, but I need even money or plus money. And neither of the board games are too interesting. All right, switching to NBA. We only have one game, but I thought I'd just touch on this. Just some side notes. I'm involved. We already got involved with Milwaukee after before the series, and I'm thinking of adding to my bet. Honestly, the whole board is at 7.5 for the second game. Milwaukee at home, favorites of course, but Pinnacle is at 8, and I agree with Pinnacle. So the first game closed at 8. I think that was the fair line, but everything was going pretty bad for Milwaukee. And I have to give credit to Atlanta. Macmillan, I think, coached probably a perfect game, close to a perfect game. And Bud is always really slow to make adjustments. So we've seen that first Lopez was killed by Trey in the drop coverage, and then he put Teague on Trey, which is I don't think it's forgivable. I think that was said by many, but I completely agree. Holiday's minutes need to be tied to Trey's, and he needs to be the guy who is guarding him all the time. I don't think like PJ Tucker is a good idea on Trey. He's not like the ideal fit. And yeah, Lopez probably needs to play less. Teague cannot share the floor with Trey, that's for sure. But yeah, so I really like what Macmillan did in the first game, but I have to touch on game two. I think Bogdanovic's knee, I think, is completely shot. He played 27 minutes, 1 of 6 on the floor, from the floor. But if you remember the first series of Milwaukee, when they faced Brooklyn, Bud really didn't go after Harden in the game where we first saw that Harden was done. But in the second game, the Bucks really attacked him, and they exploited him, and I'm expecting the same. So yeah, Bud is not great with in-game adjustments, but from game to game, he can make some good moves. And I think if Bogdanovic is really as shot as we've seen, I think he looked terrible. Then I don't think the Hawks really have a shot here. It's also important to note Middleton was 6 for 23, 0 for 9 from three-point range. This is a guy that has been shooting 40% plus through his entire career. I mean, that won't repeat. And I thought that the Bucks have been getting good looks overall. So if we get the same looks, Middleton hitting the shots better, and I really like the small ball lineup that the Bucks used in the end with Giannis in center. Just a couple of notes from the shot selection of each teams. I think that's that's telling us a lot. So 39% of the Bucks shots came from the paint. Which is amazing. I think that's what they need to do. I said this before the series. If they get up this many shots from the paint, easy looks, I think that will work. And 46% of Atlanta shots came from cleaning the glass considers a mid-range shot, and they hit 53% of these, and 67% of the long mid-range shots were hit. I mean, this team is averaging around 43% from mid-range shots through the season. And they hit 67% of long mid-range shots here and 53 of all mid-range. So yeah, mid-range jump shots are not something that's super efficient. You have to see that. And if Milwaukee continues to force the Hawks to shoot these, why they can get to the rim and shoot almost 40% of all their shots from within 4 feet of the rim, I think they will be all right going forward. And the Bucks shot 22% from 3-point range. Both teams shot badly, poorly, but I think the Bucks overall had the better looks, and I'm expecting improvements. So yeah, I think Forbes and Pat need to play more. Lopez likely need to play a bit less. But if they figure out just putting Holiday on Trey and doing basically more of the same with Giannis attacking the paint, I don't think the Hawks will really have an answer to that. So yeah, this is just my opinion on the game and the series. I'm still thinking the Bucks win this probably in 6. I would be surprised not to have another good game from Trey, but I don't think they will win more than 2 games here, honestly. And why the line on Milwaukee opened up at 6.5 at a couple of shops, it was quickly bought up, and 7.5 was also bought up on Pinnacle. So I think sharp money is on the Bucks, and I completely agree with that. All right. Thanks for tuning in. If you want to tear my plays, you can go to patreon.com/thebarrelzone, join my Discord channel. I'm off for the weekend as always, but we'll be back on Monday. And we are going with these 10 to 15 minute short shows through the entire summer. And we will see what happens when the NBA regular season comes back and we have more games. But we will have baseball through the summer. And of course, I'm always breaking down the NBA playoff games as well. All right. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. And I'll be back on Monday. Have a great weekend.